Hey, Shalom Shalom Mishpocha. Welcome to another edition of Ray Bash's Ramblings. Today I'm going to be talking about figures of biblical proportions in the modern day. Maybe raising a few eyebrows, people scratching their heads and their chins, wondering what's up. But I think of such biblical characters that we see in the scriptures, and many of them we hold very dear to our hearts. We try to model our lives after, besides who we should be modeling our lives after ultimately, which is Yeshua HaMashiach. But we also use these biblical characters because we connect with them through what we read. Their personality seems to strike us. There's many out there who love Peter, Kepha, because of his no nonsense, let's get in there and do this kind of attitude. Though, he got his foot caught in his mouth a couple times because of that. Many people have that personality and can really relate to Kepha. Others are like Aaron. They relate to him because Aaron was so compassionate, and even in Jewish tradition, he was kind of like the peacemaker of Israel, where Moses was the enforcer. He brought down the law of Adonai from Mount Sinai, and he enforced the law. He melted down the golden calf and made people drink it, and he was the enforcer. So maybe people didn't always want to go to Moshe or look up to Moshe per se, but they respected and revered him. But with Aharon, he was kind of the buffer between Moshe and the people. Jewish tradition states that he was a great marriage counselor. He was great at settling disputes, and because of this, many people honored Aaron and named their next child after him. So there was more people named Aaron during the time of the wilderness wanderings than there was any other name, according to Jewish tradition. I don't know if that's true, but that's a really neat story. It really brings out and draws out people's personality. Some people are like David. They have such a romantic yet warrior poetic heart. And think of what David did. He committed adultery. That adulterous relationship led to murder of one of his close bodyguards, one of his mighty men. Even Moses. He's one of the foundational characters in Scripture who gave us the law of Adonai, but yet he murdered an Egyptian taskmaster. There are some things that he did that were wrong. Avraham, the father of our faith, the father of the three monotheistic faiths, was a liar. He feared, what men could do to him at some points, and he lied. So every single one of the biblical characters we hold in such high esteem had major character flaws. Some character flaws that the average Joe don't have today. I mean, how many of us out there has committed murder? The statistics go up when I say how many's committed adultery. But still, it's one of those rare things for the common Joe. A lot of things that the biblical characters did that's recorded in Scripture, a lot of us don't do. And I'm glad the Scripture doesn't sugarcoat or candy coat anything. They show the faults of our biblical heroes to show that they were human, to show that there was forgiveness, redemption, and restoration. But how quickly we forget about that in the modern day. We live in such a day where sexual scandals are common, where people have skeletons in their closet. Just like the Old West, people would go out west, and when they went to a town, it was kind of a don't ask, don't tell. They assumed that people were going there to start a new life, so they didn't inquire about their past. And a lot of people today, once they, maybe they have a traumatic experience in their life, or maybe they did something in their past life that they weren't proud of, or, maybe like Joseph, perhaps. Maybe that they were, framed and cornered and suffered for things they didn't do unjustly. There's modern day Josephs out there. There's modern day Moseses out there. There's modern day Davids out there. But yet we are so quick to cast judgment on such people because maybe perhaps in this enlightened modern day and age we feel, oh, well, the arm of the Lord is too short. A crook is always a crook. A thief is always a thief. A liar is always a liar. A sexual pervert is always a pervert. A con artist is always a con artist. And we don't believe in the miraculous transformation of the death of the old man and the birth of the new man. It's like we don't believe that anymore. And it is hard to, read between the lines and distinguish sometimes people's characters, because people have become so good at lying. It's an art form now. But yet those who have the Ruach HaKodesh, those who walk in the footsteps of Yeshua HaMashiach, very, 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 very rarely get the wool pulled over their eyes. And in Judaism, another thing to kind of top all this off, so to speak, is that it's incumbent upon us to give people the benefit of the doubt, in regards to things that have happened in the past. For instance, let me give you an example. Let's say that there was a guy who used to be an alcoholic, and he's been transformed by Yeshua HaMashiach. He's been freed and delivered from alcoholism, and yet maybe he's seen, staggering next to a drunk man with a bottle in his hand. The person driving by and seeing him, the first thing that'll probably pop in their mind is, "Oh my Lord, Joe's fallen off the wagon again. Oh no," They would automatically assume the worst. But, it's incumbent upon that person to investigate that situation. Give that person the benefit of the doubt, and the first thing that comes to their mind shouldn't be, "Oh no, he fell off the wagon." But maybe in actuality and reality what has happened is this former drunk, this reformed drunk, this redeemed, rescued, delivered, saved drunk, saw one of his old bar buddies staggering and falling into the ditch, and he had compassion upon him and said, "You know what, I'm going to help him." And let's say he started, balancing him, and maybe the guy was a little bit heavier than him and caused him to stagger a little bit, and maybe to help, the drunk man walk a little better, he took the bottle out of his hand. So now it appears that he's the one who's been drinking and staggering, and yet he's doing everything he can to help him. Yes, we're to avoid all appearances of evil, but at the same time, not at the cost of saving a life or helping a life. So when we run into people that maybe we find something shocking about their past, let us first and foremost be merciful and give them the benefit of the doubt, and open ourselves up to what the truth is and what the Ruach HaKodesh has to say to us. Because in this day and age, there's a lot of people who come to Messiah and who come out of very, very wicked things. There's people that used to be former Satanists, former assassins, former terrorists, former this, that, or the other, and yet, sometimes we put them in the spotlight because they have such a dramatic testimony, and yet we believe them, but yet the common everyday Joe who conquers something heinous in his life, like an addiction or a crime, we cast doubt on him, maybe because he doesn't have that potential for fame, maybe like somebody who was a former terrorist or a former Muslim was, or whatever. But, let us look at people through the eyes of Messiah. Messiah didn't see their sin necessarily. He saw their potential. He didn't see Kepha, Peter, as one who would deny him. He saw him as a rock, therefore he called him a rock. So he looked at Zacchaeus and didn't see this, wicked tax collector. He saw this little man with a big soft heart with a lot of potential. He saw the potential of people, and he called them as they were to be, not as they were at that time, because he believed in their change. He believed in their transformation. He believed in their salvation. He believed in their redemption and restoration. He saw them as they could be in him. So, shalom and shavua tov mishpucha. See ya. Bye.